Jackie, as a figure in history, was a rock in the water, creating concentric circles and ripples of new possibility. He was medicine. He was immunized by God from catching the diseases that he fought.
Yeah. You know, change is a funny thing. Tomorrow never knows what the sun will bring. Jackie had a difficult task laced with hate, and a gift he didn't hesitate to embrace. He was born to face, never disfigured by race, at the mercy of the trigger of fate. It must have took a lot of grinning and bear and cringe embrace, but the smaller the man he faced, the bigger his grace. Jackie was trapped in a time but needed a place, a town that didn't care about the shade of his face. In the South, a black man would last one season, but up here, he was chased for all the right reasons. A star, light in blackest disguise, temporarily held back in the blackest of times. No secret handshake, silent shackles of lies could stop the flood of change when Jackie arrived. Couldn't stop it this time. Yeah.
When Jackie arrived, we all changed. Wish I could have been there that day.
6:05 on TSN 690. Welcome back to Game Points. I'm your host, Matthew Ross. One more hour of the show here. Top of the hour, pregame show, Game 7, Warriors, Cavaliers. And then tip-off just after 8 o'clock at Montreal Sports Authority. That song, of course, the incomparable Montreal hip-hop artist Anakin Slade and his new rendition of a song called Jackie. Or not a rendition, he created this song. He recently released it. And you can get it on iTunes. He performed it at the Negro Leagues Museum. Their induction ceremonies last week in Kansas City to rave response. And he was up at the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame this weekend as well for the induction of El Presidente, Dennis Martinez. All right, well, the song is about Jackie Robinson, and this segment is about Jackie Robinson. The famous contract that Jackie Robinson signed will actually be in Montreal next week. And we are joined on the line by the founder and president of Collectors Cafe, Mykalai Kontilai. How you doing, sir?
Hello, Matt. How are you?
I'm very well. Thanks for joining us here on the program. And what the heck is happening next week about this? Please tell us all about it.
So next Wednesday at 2 o'clock at City Hall, we've been invited by the mayor to bring the Montreal Royals contract, which many experts consider to be the founding document of the American Civil Rights Movement, as it was the first professional contract that Jackie Robinson signed. And we are going to unveil it in front of the Canadian people for the first time ever. So it's a historic day. Myself, Larry King, who is the brand ambassador for Collectors Cafe, we're coming there, and we are having an amazing press conference, a live press conference in the Grand Hall within City Hall with the mayor, dignitaries, and other important people to celebrate the amazing and immortal Jackie Robinson. So we're so excited about that.
A very famous contract, and this was, I would assume, at the fall or winter of 1945?
Correct. October 23rd, 1945. Jackie signed this contract. It was actually, we know for a fact it's his copy because it's stamped and signed twice by him. And the legend became reality. And very few people actually know the role that Canada, ironically, played in the American Civil Rights Movement. And it all started with this contract signed by Jackie, the president of the Montreal Royals at the time, Henry Racine. I'm really making history, and this is where the great experiment started for the first time.
Chatting with Mykalai Kontilai from Collectors Cafe as we discuss the Jackie Robinson Montreal Royals contract, which will be on display next week here in Montreal. Now, the movie that came out with Harrison Ford and all that a couple of years ago, did that give sort of a resurgence and interest in the Jackie Robinson storyline and the contract itself as well?
I think so. You know, as we become a more of a propagated multicultural society, Jackie Robinson becomes a greater and greater figure of importance. Not that he already wasn't one of the seminal important figures in American history, but that movie absolutely expanded to even a greater degree for future generations the amazing and important sacrifices that he made on behalf of the American people. And what I loved about the movie is it not only talked about his professional experience with the Dodgers, but it really showed the role of Montreal and the Royals, where he actually went they called it his proving ground, where Branch Rickey wanted him to first play to see if he could withstand the pressure and unfortunately the abuse that he took. And so Montreal really was the first place that ignited this whole thing. And again, it's such an honor to be bringing this contract up to its birthplace, the great province of Quebec in Montreal. And we've been welcomed with open arms by the mayor. And not only that, both contracts are going to be on display at City Hall Wednesday through Friday. So the citizens of Montreal and Canada can come look at these contracts, show their children and their friends and family, because they're so important really to freedom, not just to baseball.
Now, where does the contract typically reside? Is it in New York or wherever?
Yeah, it resides in New York. We have it, of course, under tremendous security. The contracts have been valued by some of the top historical document experts at a minimum value of $36 million. So we do keep them under lock and key, but we made a pledge when we acquired the contracts, Collectors Cafe, that we would tour them in as many places as we can for the next at least 6 months or so. So we started our tour in New York at the New York Historical Society. We actually took the contract briefly up to Toronto for a brief tour. And
well, we like that it was only brief in Toronto. That's what we like here.
Yeah, very brief. It was a brief stop, and then we just got back from the from the National Constitution Center in Philadelphia, where both contracts were on display there for almost 2 weeks. So this is really one of our seminal stops, and we really pulled out all of our resources to make sure that this is, alongside New York, one of the most important unveiling ceremonies that we have.
Now, once you're here in Montreal, are you going to take a tour of where the Delorme Stadium used to be, and now it's just a park, and then maybe the apartment that he resided in, which now has a plaque outside of it?
Yes, we will be going to the field. Interestingly enough, Larry King actually knew Jackie very well. He's actually, I think, the only living human being who interviewed Jackie and Martin Luther King Jr. both. And Larry, ironically, was at the game on April 15th, 1947, when Jackie ran onto the field in Brooklyn for the first time. So Larry and I will be going to that historical place where the field where he played at. And then we have some other stops scheduled as well. So it's amazing just how history comes full circle. And again, we're so proud to be coming to Montreal.
The interesting thing about all of this is that on January 26th, 2016, this is well before you guys have maybe even decided to come here, Larry King sent out this tweet: "The MLB should return to Montreal. It's a vibrant city with great people. It would certainly support a team." Have you any idea? It was just a random thought that got into his head, and he threw it out there, or was there a purpose behind it? Did you even know about this? Because it certainly shook the sort of baseball atmosphere here in Montreal. It was kind of reported because it was such an unexpected type of tweet.
Well, I did. Larry and I are fairly close, and he is a baseball scholar and just a super fan. As am I, and actually growing up from Chicago, I'm from the suburbs of Chicago, the Montreal Royals of the late 70s and 80s, the Andre Dawson, Tim Raines, Tim Wallach, Jeff Reardon Royals were my favorite baseball team. But Larry always felt that when the Royals left, it was a horrible shame because they were a great franchise, a historic franchise, and obviously played a major role in Major League Baseball history with Jackie Robinson and that story. So he's a strong believer in that. Larry actually is only come out to one city and made one appearance, and this may be the last appearance that he makes with the contract, but he wanted to make sure that he flew out. He's 82 years old now, but he wanted to make sure that he was there live in person because he has so much respect for the city of Montreal and the Montreal Royals. And he is a big proponent of bringing a team back to Montreal, which I am as well. We're keeping our fingers crossed on that.
The website is collectorscafe.com. The gentleman has been Mykalai Kontilai, who will be in Montreal next Wednesday, 2 o'clock for the press conference, along with the ambassador, Larry King, to unveil the 1945 signed Jackie Robinson Montreal Royals contract. Thank you so much for your time. We really look forward to your visit.
Thank you, Matt. And one last thought. On our website, collectorscafe.com, we've actually created a Jackie Robinson experience, which is quite a comprehensive experience on his life, great for children and families that want to learn more about Jackie from his early days all the way to his passing. So thank you for having us, and we appreciate you covering this.
Thanks so much. It is Game Points here on TSN 690. Up next here, Montreal, your chance to give out your Father's Day greetings. We're going to put them live on the air. Give us a call, 514-790-1690. Who do you want to say Happy Father's Day to? Give us a call right now. We'll put you on the air, or you can text us, 11690. We'll read them out on the air, or at Matthew Words on Twitter. Father's Day greetings. Let's hear it. That's next.